Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am very thankful to the faculty, particularly the Vice Chancellor, who has invited me to have some sort of a discussion with you people. You means the younger generation. Whenever I go, I am usually interact with the younger generation, because I personally believe that younger generation is the harbinger of the positive change in any society. This is one of the strengths of Pakistani society, that Pakistani population mainly consisting of youth, more than 70%. So this is one of the positives of this society. And more so, they are inhabited in the education institutions like universities, colleges. So I treat the universities as a strategic assets where culture is developed, civilization is developed, innovations and discoveries are being made in these universities. That's why I treat them as strategic assets. So far as this today's topic is concerned, because I am head of some anti-corruption watchdog, that is FIA. So I will today focus on mainly the FIA and its mandate and its role, and crystallizing into the anti-corruption campaign, which is a main challenge for our society till today, unfortunately. The FIA, which I am heading, it's a federal agency investigating the federal crimes. There are provinces, local governments, and the federation. So we usually mainly exclusively deal with the federal laws like economic laws, financial crimes, human smuggling across the borders. Within the territorial jurisdiction of Pakistan, the human smuggling is delegated or relegated to the provinces. So we only deal with the federal crimes. Before I embark upon the dilating the dynamics of these financial crimes and other things, I must characterize the society where we are operating and we are functioning, because we are law enforcement agencies. We have to operate in some society. What are the challenges of this society? There are some positives and some negatives of the society. I will be very truthful to you people. I am a public servant. I have some limitations. I cannot go beyond the red lines of law. But being a citizen of Pakistan, I will share my own empirical experience with you people. Number one is the society we are living is a post-truth society. What do you mean by post-truth society? Society is not based upon facts and figures. It is mainly based upon emotions. Emotions are very important, are made to be important. So we are living in a post-society. Emotions are seriously important, even critically important. Number two, we are living in a very complex world. What do you mean by complex world? Complex world, I mean constantly changing, very uncertain environment. So it is different from the complicated society. So the third one is polarization in society. you see the polarization on so many fronts. And the next is we are being faced with fifth generation warfare, we call it, because there is so much information feeded mainly on the social media. Maybe right, maybe wrong, but we are guided and our behavior is guided by these news. Sometimes very fake news, sometimes truth. And we are also living in a society where the victim card is being massively and heavily misused and abused. People want the justice for others and favors for themselves. However, there are so many positives of this society. One of the positive is the you people, that is the youth. More than 70% population consists of youth. Very bright. We are very hopeful that youth generation will lead Pakistan in future. Number two, vibrancy of the society. In the recent past, we have seen the two success stories of Pakistani society. One is the counter-terrorism campaign. We have contained rather to the extent of elimination of the menace of terrorism. This is the template which is being quoted worldwide and is being replicated and followed by world at large. So this is a big success. Number two is the role of Pakistani society in the recent pandemic. The efforts made by our society is a template for the entire world to follow. It is being appreciated worldwide. So there are so many other successes also, but because of the recent past, I am quoting these two success stories. So we are rather hopeful that this society is very vibrant. This society will play its role to the self-actualization. Now I am coming to the topic, the financial crimes. Financial crimes, by and large, it's a broad term. It relates to the finances, currency, including frauds, so many things, but it's a broad term. Mainly, if you crystallize the role of FIA, so main role of an FIA is money laundering. Besides other things, but this is the most, I will not call it a favorite subject, but it's the core mandate of FIA. What do you mean by this money laundering? Simply, in a very layman jargon, it's a whitening of black money or whitening of the crime proceeds. What has been stolen or robbed money through some dynamics of layering, it is being made by to white to be invested somewhere. So this is in a broad terms definition of this money laundering. It needs it includes the layering. It needs an hiding. It's a what you call a hoodwinking of money. It may be inside. It may be overseas. In the inland, it's very easy. But so far as overseas money laundering is concerned, international cooperation is of critical importance. Now I will come to the FIA itself, because it is the only legitimate agency to investigate the money laundering cases. The mandate of FIAs, as I already informed you, that it's economic crimes, human smuggling, anti-corruption, terrorism, and finally the cyber crime. I will in detail deliberate, I dilate upon the cyber crime issue because this is the modern issue. It's a new domain. We have embarked upon the reforms agenda in FIA. One is legal regime. There are so many laws that has been promulgated by legislator at the initiative of FIA. We have increased the human resource in FIA. It is amazing to see that the human resource in 2018, approximately 3,000 people were in FIA, employees. So though we call it approximately 50% increase, but still it is today as it is today. There are 6,000 people in FIA. And even a budget has been increased 40%. Then we have embarked upon the reforms agenda in IT-based solutions, including the automation, including the creation of databases, and of a whole criminal justice administration. Criminal justice administration includes the law enforcement agencies, the judiciary, and finally the jails. And the last one is the trainings. Training in an FIA attained the highest priority. Because this is important that we must be trained before we embark upon some journey. So we are now proposing a Art of Excellence academies. Now I will come to the FATF. This is a very critical and very important subject. But Pakistan has traveled a very long journey in realization of the FATF targets. The FIA, once again I am emphasizing that FIA is only concerned dealing with the money laundering issues. So far as this FATF issue is concerned, we made the research risk-based approaches. And this we have created a specific directorate in FIA. SOPs has been issued so far as investigation is concerned, and coordination with other agencies. Finally, I will give the figures that since March last year, we have arrested 126 people and seized more than 1,300 millions looted or recovered money. But if I quantify the performance of FIA indirectly and directly, we have contributed more than 20 billion seizures, including seizures, tax recoveries, and the remittances. So this performance vis-a-vis resources, I think it's a quantum performance. And even a recent campaign of a government to stabilize the Pak rupee, we have acted against the black market, and we have arrested approximately more than 500 people. And we have contributed a lot in stabilization of Pakistani currency. I think that some role has been assigned to the FIA in stabilization of currency. Now I will discuss the cybercrime. Cybercrime is a very new domain. Everything has been shifted to cyberspace. Particularly in the recent past, because of pandemic, everything has gone to cyber. Either it's a governance, either it's a business, everything. Even you see the academia, they have gone online. So this is of a critical importance, and this is a new challenge. Approximately, we have created this cybercrime bank in FIA. And FIA is the only and exclusive agency to investigate the cybercrime. No agency in Pakistan is empowered to investigate the cybercrime. But you see the challenges versus resources. Last year, means 2020, we received 58,000 complaints in a year. In the last year, we received more than 1 lakh complaints. But we have a resource of approximately 4,000 people. And only 5 labs in provincial capitals. You see the challenge and you see the resources. But government of Pakistan is pumping money to cyber wing also. But because of financial health, because of the pandemic, whatever the money government of Pakistan can afford, they are giving it to us. Even with these meager resources, we have succeeded in nabbing the 1,300 accused or culprits who were found guilty of cybercrime in the last year. And we have succeeded in convicting the 38 cases in the last year. In this year, in the month of January, we received approximately 5,000 applications, complaints. And we succeeded in convicting the 4 cases. So I think this is a big success vis-a-vis resources. But challenge is very, very high. We have how the people of Pakistan can access to FIA. It may be in an email. It may be a walk-in in every provincial headquarters. It may be through correspondence or letters, complaints we receive. We receive complaints through PM portal. We receive complaints at headquarters, regional headquarters, and even in circles. So these are the methods of receipt of the complaints. Particularly, we are getting more complaints from the students because the computer consumers are mainly the students and younger generation, obviously. So, how to go about it? One is the human resource and technological resource reinforcement. Number 2 is the training programs. The government of Pakistan has spotted 7 universities. And we have signed a memorandum of understanding with these 7 universities for the development and training in the cyberspace. So this is very, very important that we are doing it. Finally, I will come to this. There are 2 main issues. Now we are exploring the option of investigating the two challenges. Number is virtual currency, and number second is this cyber attacks. There are so many things going on with regard to this virtual currency. So far as we are concerned, we have nothing to do with whether it is legitimate or it is illegitimate. It is for the government of Pakistan, legislators, to legislate upon virtual currency. So far as I received a presentation in 3 countries only, Canada, UK and USA. This virtual currency is legitimized. In China, it is illegal. So it is up to the legislators to legalize it or otherwise. We are only investigating the fraud committed in the name of virtual currency. The currency which has been robbed from the people of Pakistan. Simply our role is to the extent of that fraud, not to the legitimacy and illegitimacy of currency itself. State Bank of Pakistan has issued a circular banning the banks not to deal into virtual currency, except 2 banks given an authority to use the blockchain technology, and probably they are using this technology for the remittances. This is what can I share with you. And the cyber attacks. I will define the cyber attacks, very mega cyber crimes. We are investigating 2 cyber attacks. One was in FBR and other was in National Bank of Pakistan. So it's a new field, very unknown to us, but we are trying to navigate into these fields because this is important for the critical infrastructure preservation and for the privacy and for the critical assets of the state of Pakistan. So we must investigate, and we are investigating. Because of the resource deficit, expert deficit, we are engaging other agencies also to help us in this regard. Finally, coming to the solutions, because I have told you that we are living in a very complex world, there must be some coordination, complement and supplement of the efforts that I call it a multi-domain synergy, meaning thereby every stakeholders, including law enforcement, academia, intelligence agencies, other law enforcement agencies like police, anti-corruption departments, they should join their hands to cope up with the law enforcement agencies. Because of the challenges, negatives of the society, I have told you, law enforcement is stress. It's a very challenging job. So, synergy of the all these stakeholders is very critical. We are coordinating with these agencies, all stakeholders. So then we are now coming up with the anti-corruption policy. There must be some policy. It is beyond the domain of, or in addition to the domain of law enforcement. It includes the academia, it includes the society at large, it includes the family, it includes the environment, it includes the neighborhood. So we must condemn the anti-corruption practices as a nation, it should not be generalized. In the past, we have seen those people who reportedly are notoriously to be corrupt. The society used to condemn them. But this is now our experience, rightly or wrongly. Some people disagree with me. This is the other way around nowadays. So we have to create a culture of honesty, integrity, transparency. This is the only solution for the survival of any society. We can be imploded from inside rather than outside. So this is important, that we should create a culture of this honesty, integrity, and transparency. There are another issues which I want to dilate upon. Though very sensitive issues, but I wanted to share with you my own experience of things. We have initiated an accountability process in FIA itself, because when we talk about the anti-corruption campaign outside FIA, so FIA must be included into this anti-corruption campaign. FIA Act also applies to FIA itself also, not only the other people. So that's why we have taken a step of rotation policy, that those people who were serving since so many years, they have been transferred from that post. Because sometimes, though they are performing very excellently, but in a society where we are living, there may be some aspirations cast on FIA itself. So that's why we try to make every officer rotate. It's a federal agency, and they must be rotated throughout the province, throughout the entire Pakistan, from one province to another province, from one place to another place. And the reward and punishment policy, this is an integral part of any organization to grow. Number 2 is creating a conducive atmosphere for investment. The accountability process ought not to hamper the economic activity. It is dependent upon rule of law, due process of law, and fair trials. So that is very, very critical. We have, I feel myself proud that when you have a formalism in a society, particularly in law enforcement, people have a belief in the system. And because of a belief, the remittances has increased. Those people, diaspora, living in overseas, they have this belief that when we invest in Pakistan, it will not be washed away through corruption or through any sort of irregularity or impropriety. So because of our actions, the remittances has also increased. Because of a belief in the system that our money will not be washed away or looted or made to thieves. And we are trying to create a deterrence. Deterrence against what? We are creating a certainty of a deterrence, certainty of a punishment, not the severity of punishment. Certainty is very important. If I am certain about my being punished because of wrongdoing, certainly I will be deterred. So we are believing in that, and we are taking an initiative to create a certainty of punishment, to create a deterrence. And the role of regulatory bodies. There are so many regulatory bodies. FIA is the last line of defense against corruption and corrupt practices. There are regulatory bodies like the State Bank of Pakistan, like SSCP, like FBR. So we are trying to make them more reinforced, that competitive commissions, that they should play a role before case coming to FIA. They should play a part, regulate the things, regulate the economic activity. If the case is beyond their domain, the things went wrong beyond their domain, then the FIA come into action. Because everything cannot be solved by FIA itself. The other regulatory body, which I think, this is my belief, sometimes they are performing very good. The revenue collection this year has tremendously increased. So we must appreciate these positive steps which the society is taking. We should not advocate the doomsday scenarios. Yes, we must appreciate, we must analyze the things, but we analyze the things. We should not be a fault-finding machines. We should be the fact-finding machines. So these are important things. At the end, I am again thankful to the VC Sahab that they have invited me to this August Institute. Sir, thank you very much. And the faculty also. So now I will invite you people, if you have some query or some question, so I am here to respond to you people. Thank you very much, sir.